What Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever players and staff say in exit interviews after 2025 WNBA season. The Indiana Fever's roller coaster of a season ended with their loss to the Las Vegas Aces in Game 5 of the semifinal round of the WNBA playoffs. The Fever withstood an avalanche of injuries, most notably to second-year player Caitlin Clark, and an influx of hardship waiver signings who had to contribute right away to post a winning record and reach the playoffs. Indiana also had an unusual situation that resulted in a separation with DeWanna Bonner. Indiana players, Coach Stephanie White and COO and General Manager Amber Cox are scheduled for exit interviews Thursday morning. Join our live blog and be sure to refresh throughout the day as coverage continues. Caitlin Clark on what she wants her career's legacy. There's a lot of conversation about the CBA negotiations with the WNBA, leadership, etc. Clark talked at length about how pivotal a moment this is for the WNBA and how it will set up the future of professional women's basketball. She wants it to be something kids and adults of all ages can be proud of. I hope that's what my legacy can be. Caitlin Clark on her popularity, sponsorships, Kathy Engelbert comments. I think that's probably the way in which the league has changed over the course of the last few years. These kids and what they're making in college these days is insane, and it's probably more than what I was making. Young women are beginning to build their brands in college and bringing that to the WNBA. We are in the biggest moment in WNBA history. There's no denying that. Everybody knows that. I'm going to do everything I can to make this league, people. Caitlin Clark makes joke about Hy-Vee, her first sponsorship. Hy-Vee, the greatest grocery chain of all time, based in Des Moines, baby. Caitlin Clark on what good leadership looks like. Clark said she's been around a lot of great leaders and she's trying to grow and learn too. She said being a leader is all about relationships. Why would my teammates want to listen with me if I didn't have a relationship with them? Caitlin Clark on what she learned from the bench. Caitlin Clark said the biggest lesson she learned while recovering from an injury was how she could be there for teammates and pour into them. She said getting injured is an isolating thing, and she'll be there for any teammate who gets injured moving forward. Caitlin Clark would love to play in Paris. A reporter, who is French, asked Caitlin Clark about playing in Paris. She said international experience is key to growing the game and cited other leagues playing meaningful games overseas, including the Pacers playing Victor Wembanyama in France. Caitlin Clark loves the passionate sports fans in Indianapolis. Clark said that Indianapolis doesn't feel like a big city because of how close-knit it is with everyone supporting each other. Will Caitlin Clark play in the WNBA offseason? Caitlin Clark smiled when she said she's going to look at all opportunities when considering where she will play this offseason. The only group she mentioned was USA Basketball and having to ramp up for that. Caitlin Clark on Indiana Fever season, friendship. Speaking on the Fever's culture, Caitlin Clark said that the friendship and empathy each player had was a key to their success and why they went as far as they could. Clark said it is very reasonable that she could be back to 5-on-5 by the end of October. She said that the physicality and not knowing the cuts one makes consciously when playing is misunderstood versus the spot shooting videos from her recovery timeline. Caitlin Clark is wearing her custom logo with Nike. For more, see the story. Caitlin Clark on Kathy Engelbert's alleged comments on sponsorships. Clark said she hadn't heard the story on what Engelbert allegedly said about the WNBA platform and her sponsorships. Clark also said that Engelbert did not reach out after Fee's comments. First of all, I have great respect for Fee. I think she made a lot of very valid points. I think what people need to understand is we need great leadership in all levels. This is a moment we have to capitalize on. Fee said it all. Caitlin Clark injury update, ankle injury. Clark said she started feeling her best in the past couple weeks. She said her ankle rolled all the way forward and was probably one of the worst sprains I've ever dealt with. She said when you're injured it is more work than when you're playing. She said she felt pain in her right groin when she got hurt in July against Connecticut and didn't put a timeline on her ankle injury. She said she never had a thought of not returning, but she just ran out of time. I've been working really hard to get back to full health. Caitlin Clark speaks for the first time. Sophie Cunningham said that was mild, may have more for her podcast. Sophie Cunningham said that would be tame. One reporter joked, Hyun wants the other version. Cunningham said that may come out on her podcast. Sophie Cunningham on Kathy Engelbert's comments on Caitlin Clark. Cunningham didn't have much to add about the alleged comments by WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert toward Caitlin Clark, which said Clark should be grateful for the WNBA platform that lead to her sponsorships. Kathy always makes it about her, when it should be nothing about her. Indy star proved that to be wrong. Sophie Cunningham on the WNBA negotiations with the CBA. She said that a lockout, where they're headed, would be the dumbest decision. We are not going to play until they get us what they deserve. Sophie Cunningham on injury updates, WNBA free agency. Cunningham authoritatively said that she will be ready to play in 2026. When asked about her future, she said that she is going to take a look at other opportunities because she has to. So there are no guarantees she will be back, but she loved being back in the Midwest as a Missouri native. I have loved being here. I had a great time here, and I'd love to be back. Sophie Cunningham on negotiations of CBA with WNBA, Nafisa Collier comments. Cunningham said that Nafisa Collier probably only said the 1% she knows of the CBA negotiations. Collier is vice president of the Players Association. Sophie Cunningham. WNBA officiating criteria needs to change. Cunningham said the above quote, and that people don't know how to officiate basketball to change the criteria. That definitely needs to change. Sophie Cunningham on state of WNBA, NBA players' reactions. Cunningham said that NBA players have reached out to the WNBA players about how bad the league is. She called the court a battlefield with how physical the game is, and players on court agree at the same team. She questioned leadership not doing anything and said the game is not fun to watch because everybody is trying to kill each other. Our leadership from top to bottom needs to be held accountable. Great business people, but don't know shit about basketball. Sophie Cunningham on Indiana Fever season. The season was amazing in so many ways, the love in the locker room, the way the fans embraced us. It was also a season in hell. When it's blow after blow, it's exhausting. For us to take a deep breath and know no one else is getting injured. Sophie Cunningham has joined Indiana Fever exit interviews. I'm going to be good today, Sophie quipped. Kelsey Mitchell on WNBA free agency, returning to Indiana Fever. Mitchell was asked about what's next for her as a WNBA free agent. She said that family is going to play a big factor in her decision after 8 years with the Fever. She'll let everyone know when they know, but offered this great line. I hope we have a league. I hope when it's all said and done we have a season. The Fever finished with more players than they can bring back in free agency, but COO and General Manager Amber Cox said that Mitchell is the top priority. Kelsey Mitchell speaking on what she learned from NBA players. Kelsey Mitchell said she learned from Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander during the NBA playoffs, which gave her confidence to take risks in her own game. They took risks. You guys seeing me taking risks was just trusting myself and trusting confidence in my game. Kelsey Mitchell on Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark injury. Mitchell spoke on the trying times of the season and the big adversity the Fever faced, losing big pieces. It's hard to find culture and establish that when you're trying to make a run. We could have folded, and we didn't. Kelsey Mitchell refused a stretcher. Mitchell had a funny response multiple times, saying she wasn't going to use a stretcher. She said her feet were dangling because she had no blood flow or feeling. She had to be carried off the court. Kelsey Mitchell grateful for family, teammate support. Mitchell said that Lexi Hull was holding her hand. Aaliyah Boston prayed over her and others were telling her she'd walk again while she was laying on the floor in the loss to the Aces. Kelsey Mitchell on meeting with doctors for rhabdomyolysis. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I literally played till my wheels fell off. Kelsey Mitchell on injury to end Indiana Fever season. Notably, Kelsey Mitchell walked into the press conference room and up a set of stairs. She joked that it happened at random, although she doesn't know how random because of it being Game 5. I feel fine. I don't think I could play in another game. I should probably take some time and